All right, let's get right into it. When we think about making money online, our minds usually jump to one thing: selling. You got to sell a product, sell a course, sell something. But what if that's not the whole picture? What if there's another way? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on a strategy that completely flips that idea on its head.
I know it sounds a little crazy, right? Earning a real income without having to convince a single person to open their wallet? But that is the exact idea we're going to unpack here. Let's see how this is even possible.
You know, this whole concept of earning without selling really plugs into that big dream we all have: passive income. It's a phrase that gets thrown around constantly. But just so we're all starting from the same place, what are we actually talking about when we say that? So, Investopedia's definition here is perfect because it shines a spotlight on the part everyone misses after the initial setup. See, this isn't about getting money for doing nothing. Not at all. It's about doing all the heavy lifting up front to build a system that can then generate income with very little day-to-day effort.
When you boil it all down, it's pretty simple. Active income is you trading your time directly for money, like your salary. If you don't show up, you don't get paid. But passive income, that's about building an asset that earns for you. Your 9-to-5 versus owning a rental property, that's the fundamental difference we're talking about.
So how do people usually try to get a piece of this dream online? Well, one of the most well-worn paths is affiliate marketing. It is a huge industry, but it has this one core challenge, this reality check that a lot of people don't really see coming. The easiest way to think about it is like this. You're basically a freelance matchmaker for businesses. You find someone who might be interested in a product, you introduce them, and if they end up buying, the company gives you a little thank you commission. It's all based on performance.
And here it is, the catch. No sale, no money. It's that simple. You could send thousands of genuinely interested people to a website, but if for whatever reason they don't buy, you've earned exactly $0 for your effort. This is the brick walls so many aspiring affiliates run into, and it's why a lot of them just give up.
But what if we've been looking at this all wrong? What if the goal wasn't the sale itself? What if the real value for a business is created way before anyone ever clicks buy now? This brings us to the real engine quietly running behind so many online businesses: lead generation. So what's a lead? It's just someone who digitally raises their hand and says, I'm kind of interested in that. They haven't bought anything, they haven't even committed to anything, but they've shown a little spark of curiosity. And for any business, that initial sign of interest is pure gold. Okay, so that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's not about ambushing them with a sales pitch. No, it's about starting a gentle conversation. And in the world of online marketing, that conversation has a very specific structure. It's called the sales funnel. Think of it as a journey. At the very top, you're just attracting a big crowd with free, genuinely useful stuff. But the real magic, the part we're focused on, happens right in the middle. This is where you offer something a little more valuable, maybe a guide or a checklist in exchange for an email address. And boom, that's it. That's the moment a random visitor becomes a valuable lead. The actual sale is way down the road at the bottom.
So why is just getting that lead so much more valuable than pushing for a sale right away? Well, it kind of comes down to this one single powerful number: 67%.
That's how many potential sales are lost just because companies don't properly identify and talk to their interested leads. And here's the secret. A good, qualified lead is so valuable and so hard to come by that businesses are more than willing to pay for just the connection itself long before a transaction ever happens. Okay, this all sounds great in theory, but how does it actually work as a business model you could use? Let's look at a really interesting example that's blowing up right now: pay per call. This makes the whole abstract idea of lead generation super tangible. The process is actually incredibly simple. Step 1. You run ads targeting people who are already looking for a specific service. Think a plumber, a lawyer, you name it. Step 2. They see your ad and call the special tracking number. Step 3. If that call lasts for a minimum amount of time, sometimes as little as 10 or 20 seconds, you get paid. That's your job. Done. You never have to sell a thing. And just look at how it stacks up against traditional affiliate marketing. The action required from the customer is just a quick phone call, not a full-blown purchase. But the payouts can be way higher. We're talking $40, $50, even $90 for a single call. Now, why is that? It's because a phone call shows massive intent. Someone picking up the phone is a much, much hotter lead than someone just clicking a link.
And businesses absolutely know that. So when you look at reviews of this model, the advantages become really clear. But the absolute killer pro, no risk of refunds or chargebacks. Think about it. You get paid for generating a qualified phone call. What happens after that call is between the customer and the business. It doesn't impact your earnings at all.
Now let's be realistic here. This isn't some magic money button. The sources are very clear that you need an advertising budget to even get in the game. And there's a real learning curve. You have to learn the skill of crafting ads that make people want to call. And that's something that takes time and effort to get right.
So, stepping back from all the details, what's the big picture idea here? What's the fundamental mind shift we should really be taking away from all this?
This really gets to the heart of it. Making money online is evolving. It's not always about being the best salesperson. Often, it's about being the best connector. You're simply building a bridge between a person with a problem and a business with the solution.
This quote from someone actually doing the pay-per-call model just nails the whole mindset. They realized their job wasn't to convince or persuade anyone. It was just to make an introduction that was basically waiting to happen.
And this is the secret, right here. While everybody else is down at the bottom of the funnel, fighting tooth and nail to close the sale, the massive opportunity is often right there in the middle, in making that first high-value connection. That's the service that businesses are desperate for.
And that kind of leaves us with a final big question to chew on. If this model of getting paid for connections, not just for sales, works so well, it opens up a whole new way of looking at business online. What other problems are out there that could be solved not by selling, but by just making the right introduction at the right time?